Yes, guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the Spurs Talk Show. I am Sean Butler. I hope you're all happy and healthy, doing the things you love with those you love to do them with. It's Meltdown again. I couldn't name the show The Meltdown 2 days in a row because that would just be spammy. It would be spammy, and I don't want to do that. But I got to be honest, guys, the meltdowns around Twitter, around the fan base, over essentially a load of noise, but not a lot of action. It's almost at new levels. It's it's almost at new levels of wildness. From Matt Law's absolute nonsense that he was talking about on Last Word on Spurs, bringing his agenda to play, and I don't care. I respect the guy; he's a very good journalist, but he doesn't know what he's talking about, I don't think, when it comes to the specifics of the finance thing. I think he was backing up doubling down is a better way of saying it, on a take that he had long before we won the Europa League. And on top of that, you've got the Eze news. The Eze news, is it news? Is it news? Some ITK somewhere called something News and Ticks or whatever, saying that Arsenal have agreed terms with Eberechi Eze. Tottenham fans going into absolute meltdown on this one. It's absolutely wild. And I'm here for it, by the way. I am here for it because I find it fascinating. I love this. I love the human condition, the psyche, the psychology of how people react to information, and whether it's gut instinct, whether it's trust in sources that haven't earned your trust. It doesn't matter where the source comes from. And look, I participate in it to the largest extent with my transfer news, views, and clues, and I'm a part of the problem for sure. But there's nothing happening. There is nothing happening. Like, Spurs have no money. Yeah, we do. We have more money than most teams in cash, for sure. In revenue, for sure. And certainly in future cash flow forecastings, for sure. Arsenal have stolen our guy. Arsenal have stolen our guy. They've hijacked our boy. First and foremost, he isn't our guy. He's not our guy. He's just a guy who we would like to see at our club. And the fact that Arsenal have hijacked him, well, they haven't. They haven't hijacked anything. All of the big ITKs haven't said diddly squat on this one. Ornstein hasn't said anything as far as I'm aware. Fabrizio Romano hasn't said anything as far as I'm aware. There's no news. It's just rumors from people that get 99% of their stuff wrong. What's this? Snot showing it. Are you, Sean? Snot showing it? Don't know what that means. Oh, I've got snot somewhere. Hey, what's going on, guys? What's going on? Hello. We're going to get into it. I've just got distracted there by seeing that. I'm thinking I'm gonna have to interrupt my monologue. My opening gambit. That's out the window. I was going to clip it and put it on a short. It's out the window now. We're going to get back to usual stuff. I hope you are all happy and healthy, doing the things that you love, guys. Future's Bright's in the house. Hello, mate. Good to see you. Liston Hines. Just assume we'll make no signings at all, and you won't ever have a meltdown. See, this is what I'm talking about. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? It's June the 27th. The financial year hasn't started. And by the way, I'm not sitting here like criticizing. I totally get it. I totally feel the same vibes that you do. But we need to have a little dose of reality, guys. I see people like in the fan base, in the channels that I absolutely admire and respect, that are losing the plot. And I guess it's a click thing. I guess it's a clickbait thing. Like, outrage sells better than, there's people. That's why the reason why people slow down at accidents, right? People slow down at accidents because, sad news sells better than good news. No one wants to read on the front page that, 1,000 puppies were saved yesterday. For some reason, the story about World War III sells more. I don't know what it is. I think it's tapping into the human psyche's general victim narrative that everyone's on the sad side of life, of luck. I don't know, guys. I find the whole thing crazy. We've got lots to talk about. Because, I'll be honest, I'm going to bring up some tweets The Levy out thing is trending again. People are saying if he joins Arsenal, I'm done with this football club. What are we doing? But like I say, first and foremost, he isn't a Tottenham player. He's just a player that most fans would like to see because he's an improvement on what we have. Worst case scenario, there's lots of other better players out there. There's lots of players out there that improve us. It's the most oversaturated position in world football. Everybody who's right-footed, of which, 90% of people are? Well, if they happen to also be a creative, tricky, technical player, of which, let's be honest, most people think they are, then the obvious spot for them in the 2020 and forwards version of football is a left winger that can play as a 10. There's loads of them. It's the most commonly found form of talent in the world of professional football by far. If Eberechi doesn't come to Tottenham, it's not the end of the world, guys. It's not the end of the world. Now, that said, am I a little bit annoyed and frustrated that Tottenham haven't done more so far? Yes, I am. But then every club is. Newcastle United is. Nottingham Forest, who have got 3 players in some really top draw players out of Botafogo, for example, and they're about to sign a couple of players from Juve. Timothy Weah being one of them. Like Nottingham Forest are doing bits. Are Nottingham Forest fans happy? The ones I've seen aren't. They want more. Everyone wants more. Everyone wants now. It's the kind of the key word of life, right? The keystone to success. If you can take something which has already been done elsewhere and make it better, faster, and cheaper, then you're a billionaire. And everyone wants things faster, i.e. now. Everyone wants better, i.e. improve on what we have. And everyone wants cheaper, but in the football world, that just means I ain't paying for it, so I don't care about the cheaper bit, but just get it done. Just get it done. And unfortunately, it doesn't work that way, guys. Life doesn't work that way, but everyone is losing their minds. Everyone is having a meltdown of meltdowns, and we're going to be talking about what that really looks like and where we can go instead. And it's like I say, are you really that upset if you lose out on Eze and you get a Xavi Simons? Are you really that sure that that's the area of the park that we really need to improve on? What happens if Sonny doesn't want to go, by the way? If Sonny doesn't want to go, well, half the fan base seem to be not wanting him to leave anyway, but they still want Eze. Square the circle. Square the circle. I genuinely think if you were to have a conversation with like 9 out of 10 Tottenham fans, you would find a hypocrisy and a contradiction in their logic in about 3 seconds flat. We have to improve our wingers. We absolutely have to. Okay, should we sell Sonny? Don't you dare sell Sonny. Don't you dare. Why are you hating on our Korean guy? Okay, well, how about we sell Solomon? You can't sell Solomon. 24 goal, 23 GA in the championship last year. Guy's a baller. Okay. Should we loan out Micky Moore? No, we shouldn't loan out Micky Moore. Should have had more minutes last year. Well, how are we going to find space for these wingers? You want to sell Brennan Johnson? Can't sell Brennan Johnson. Top scorer last year. Everyone wants things they don't have, but no one wants to lose what they do. It's very strange. It's very strange, but it is what it is. Let's find out what's going on in the chat. We got a few things. We've got a long time to chat today. Love the channel, says Luke. Cheers, Lukey. Keep up the great work. Your laugh is infectious. Appreciate that, mate. Appreciate that. Apparently, a lot of people hate it. A lot of people really hate it. But we don't care. I blame you for Eze. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I did an oopsie. I had the audacity to think outside the box and go, maybe the £68 million in one payment is problematic for everybody. But maybe the reality of being able to buy him over 3 installments with £8 million in installments is entirely opportunistic for everybody. And when suddenly the door opens to you, it opens to many others as well. And when you're not the top of the pecking order, when you're not at the top of the food chain, there's other teams that can come in. And I said it. I did say it. I said, I don't see him as a left winger. But if you are going to play him on a left winger, is he better than Martinelli? I think so. Is he better than the other fella? I think so. Is he better than Odegaard? Yeah, in the 10, for sure he is. So it wasn't rocket science to me. And I also said I think that he makes sense to go to City as well, for what it's worth. But I don't think he's going to go to City. I don't think he will. But I said it, right? And then the next day, literally 24 hours later, not even 24 hours later, Arsenal have put in a bid, and Man City are sniffing around as well. It's not a problem if he doesn't sign for us, guys. It's not the end of the world. Not the end of the world. Now, I'm not sitting here defending Daniel Levy, by the way, because if you've been watching my channel for a while, I'm getting pissed off with him a little bit. And I also think that there's things happening in the world of football finance and FFP and PSR. I'm going to talk about that in a minute, right? But like, I was discussing this stuff on football finance a little while ago. Some of the things that are taking place at the moment. You've got Kieran Maguire putting out a comment about, FFP and PSR. The rules are about as useful as a chocolate teapot. I've been saying that for 3 years, really. It's nice to know that an expert is sort of on board the same wavelength as me on this one. But like, it's been obvious for a long time that the rules are not worth the paper that they're written on. And the clubs don't seem to have any ambition to change the rules. And so if that's the case, you have to kind of like take that dose of reality, take that shot of adrenaline to wake you up from the slumber that you're in and think, okay, Daniel Levy, well, look, mate, I don't hate you, bro. I ain't got a problem with you. I think you've done a good job. I think it's admirable what you've done. I think it's impressive and respectable what you've done. But at the same time, the rules are what they are. The game is what it is. The paradigm has shifted. If you are not willing to engage in the dark arts, then hand over to someone who will. Otherwise, we'll be on this hamster wheel forever, pretending like next time is the time. But I tell you what, guys, you might hate Daniel Levy more than I do, and you might say we've been here before. This isn't your first rodeo, and I hear you. I feel it. I get it. But no issues with the take on that at all. But there's one thing that's different this year, and that's that Daniel Levy had the audacity to sit down at the start of a window and say, these are the ambitions that we haven't previously articulated. Right? These are the ambitions that we wanted to hear. This is the fans, the Levy outs amongst you. You've always saying, where's our plan? Where's our game plan? Where's the desire? Where's the trophy ambitions? We need to hear it. We need to hear it. And then as soon as you hear it, Lubo said last night, I didn't want to hear that. I love Lubo. But my God, that man moves a goalpost. I adore him, but he loves a goalpost shift. But he said what he said, right? And now listen, I've been saying this as well. Like at the same time, just because he said it, it doesn't mean that he wasn't being a donut, because he's got donut, tendencies as old boy Daniel. And I think that there's a logical argument to sit there and say it's not the first time that he said things when the moment was right, when he wanted to like come out and be visible when things were looking good. He did it when we were 9 games into that 10-game stretch, right? And he said, we got our Tottenham back. And then we did get our Tottenham back when it all went Spursy after that. That was the last time we heard from him in a visual format, a video or a fan meet and greet, whatever you want to call it. But for him to say it now, so yeah, you could argue it's just him like taking the wind in his sails from the Europa League when they're thinking now's the time to say it, and the fans are idiots, and they'll just lap it up, and it will buy me some time and all this yada yada. And maybe, right? Maybe the guy's on the spectrum. Maybe the guy is just that delusional. Maybe he is that ballsy, that bolshy, that he has the gall to do that sort of thing. Fair enough. I'd be surprised, but fair enough. If that's the logic we're working with here, just go. Let's run with that for a second. If that's the case, what explains Vinay's participation in it? Because that guy is a fan engagement merchant. That guy is the guy that everybody was like, I can't wait to see him, because he treats the fans with respect. He understands the value that they play and that the communication towards them is necessary. He co-signed that. He was a part of it. And even if Daniel Levy said it like in the moment and it wasn't part of the script, it wasn't like it was live streamed. So the whole club got together, watched it back. The people that are the powers that be, the people that need to know, they got together, they watched it back and went, yep, that'll do. And Vinay co-signed it. So I do not believe for a second that they would do that if they were going to go and buy Takai and re-sign Ben Davies and Matisse Tell, and that's it. That's your lot, and maybe 1 or 2 others, but they're all going to be £5 million players like Oliver Boast, £1 million signing for a 15, 16-year-old. I just don't buy it. I can't buy it. If that's the way it turns out, then I have been royally mugged off. I've had the wool pulled over my eyes, and I will be the first person at the next Change for Tottenham march. 100%. No question of a doubt. If this is the trajectory after saying that, after doing what we did in Bilbao, if this is it, you have the audacity to say we're going to win we want to win the league, and then you're buying 16-year-olds and Japanese nobodies, no disrespect to him, but unknowns in the Premier League, and you're re-signing Matisse Tell, who I haven't got a problem with, but most of you do, and re-signing Ben Davies and Sonny stays for another year when he's clearly on the decline. If this is the kind of par for the course for this summer, if it is, and we won't know until August the 14th, which, by the way, is interesting. It's the first time in, I think, forever that the transfer window closes the day before the season starts. So all business must be concluded in, 6 weeks' time? Not a lot of time, is it? There's other changes in the Premier League this year, which is going to be fascinating. I'll be talking about that as well in a minute. But I just don't buy it, guys. I think that if all of those things materialize, if that's what comes to pass, then fair enough. But the meltdown that's happening is either just people being meltdownish, but for meltdown purposes. They've got their agendas. They want to think the worst, and they never change their mind. They always expect it, but then when what they think is happening happens, even though it's in real time and there's still so much time to be proven wrong, they still melt down in the same fashion as though it's new information. But which is weird. I mean, I knew this was coming. Okay, then why are you losing your shit? Nostradamus. Doesn't make any sense to me. But I think people are just going to have to. Agendas have got our agenda. I get it, but at the same time, if that's the way it plays out, fair enough. I'll be there with you. I've been to every Change for Tottenham protest. I think I'm one of only 50 people that have. But and I'll be at the 4th and the 5th and the 6th, 100%. And but that, if I'm entirely honest, I'll never have the resentment like most people do. I'm a bit late to that party, and I don't think I find it difficult, awkward for me personally to get on board it to that extent. But even if we go and we do bits this summer, but the path towards tightening of rules is clearly not going to happen. Then if Daniel Levy doesn't start doing shenanigans, right? Like, put your money in. If you believe the valuation of the club is what is fair, then why can't you put your own money in? If you want to just diversify your risk, where's the other buyers? There's another option if you're so desperate for money because the hotel can't be built and everything else. If all of that stuff can't be built without this money, and you're so desperate for it, and we have to wait whilst at the same time you've taken £90 million out of the club's coffers over the last 3 years to buy land for your projects that you now don't have the rest of the money to finance, then IPO the company. IPO it. Let the market dictate the value. If you're so certain that the valuation is fair, let the market prove you right or wrong. Or put your money in, not you, Daniel, but like Joe Lewis, go back and put the money in. He doesn't want to be diluted, apparently is the narrative, right? Like Joe Lewis said he'll give you the money, but he'll dilute Daniel Levy. That tells me that he doesn't believe his own bullshit. Because he wouldn't have a problem with being diluted if it was a fair valuation. We'll see. I'm going to press pause on my rant, my monologue, guys. We're going to talk about some news as well. Let's see what everyone's saying. I blame you for Eze, says Futures Bright. Good to see you, mate. Mr. Capschwan Jelly Bean. Oh, Jesus Christ. We're winning the whole lot with all the amazing signs we've made this window. You said if a day before this comes out, yeah, I know. I did say it, didn't I? I got loads of people on Twitter atting me going, Butler, you Burke, you jinxed us. Who does Eze support? I've heard conflicting stories saying he's an Arsenal supporter. Some saying he's not a Tottenham fan. No. He's an Arsenal fan. He was part of their Arsenal academy. I think he said the most painful thing that he went through was getting dropped by the academy. Eden Sean, silly season in full flow. Meltdowns abound. Nothing like a good old meltdown, Johnny. Oh, this is it. Yellow Dean, snot showing. It's are you, Sean? I don't know what that means, mate. No idea. Sooner play Donnelly. He's not ready yet, is he? Well, we don't know if he's ready, but I'd imagine he's not ready, to be honest. Not showing it. Oh, you're saying not showing it? Are you, Sean? Not showing what? What are we not showing? Evening, Darren. Your boy Johnny's not here, mate. Your boy Johnny's not here, mate. If you want to disappear, it's okay. I'll understand. Bullshit. Spurs have no money. Eze for me want to go to Arsenal, but if he does go to Arsenal, there will be uproar. Yeah, but why? Why will there be uproar? This is the point. Is there uproar that we didn't sign Mbeumo? Like, what? I don't get it. Like, do Tottenham fans think that he's like one of our own? Square the circle. He's just another player that turned us down for a bigger club, if that's the case. It happens. I don't really get it. I don't get why there'll be uproar. More uproar on this one. Is it because they think that there's that he would come to Tottenham? If so, where and why? Like, what are we doing here? Are we believing every rumor? Where is the information from anyone that's credible that says that Eze wants to come to Tottenham or he's dreaming of Tottenham, and the only reason he's going to Arsenal is because Tottenham haven't put a bid in? And by the way, neither have Arsenal. Arsenal haven't put a bid in either yet. I think legit. No, that's what I'm saying, Dryas Peter. Everyone's just going mental. But like, I see it on big Tottenham channels, but bigger, like, you know, obviously the biggest ones, right? They're losing their mind. They're losing their mind over something that they like. It's just, I love all the guys in the Tottenham community. I love you all, but like some people, it can only be fake outrage, assuming certain outcomes to get clicks. Because as I said at the start, negative emotions sell more than positive ones. Everyone wants to see someone have a rant rather than someone say a prayer, you know? Jack Lagrosse, richest club in money, has no cash. Levynomics. Do you know, I like Connor. Do you guys like Connor? He's been a good addition to the channel, I think. I'm starting to feel sorry for Frank already. I wouldn't feel sorry for any football managers, mate. They get paid a lot of money to do the things that we'd all do for free. When will people learn? Until they see the player holding up the shirt, the rest is bullshit, Terry, 100%. I would like Eze, but he's not really the winger we need. I actually agree with this. I was saying this as well. I think that I don't think he is the winger we need. I think he's the winger we think we want, and he's a top draw player. But if you're bringing in a winger that's predominantly a 10, then explain to me how when Maddison and Decky are fit, you're going to make room for 3 players in one position, because Decky ain't good on the right. Decky's not a right winger. He's not an inside forward. Certainly isn't an inside forward. If anything, he's an 8 more than or a 10 drifting that way, I think, more than someone who can do an inside forward role. He's not an 8 really, but he's a 10. Maddison's obviously just a 10. People saying, I'll just shoehorn him on the right or shoehorn him out to the left. Square pegs in round holes all over again. I'd be amazed if he actually signs for us, says Robert. There's always hope. Meltdown. James, how you doing, mate? Meltdown, where's my Eze? I was promised Eze. Eze good. Eze good. Da-da-da-da. He's ever at you good. Eze good. Eze good. Da-da-da-da. He's ever at you good. I don't know if that's a song. If we do sign him, that should be a song for sure. It's all bullshit rumors, mate. 100%, 100%, 100%. What are we doing here? Go get some sun and have an ice cream chat. Yeah, buddy. I got like 30 quid. I got a co-op voucher. £6 off if I spent 30 quid, not including alcohol or cigarettes or tobacco. I didn't want anything, so I went and bought 30 quid worth of Magnums. Not Magnums, the alcohol drink that I've come to love. Magnums, the ice cream. £6 off. I'm going to have diabetes soon, but £6 off. You played along with the Mbeumo news knowing it was fake, Sean. Kind of it both ways. I'm saying I'm not. I'm saying I am a participant in it. But at the same time, I always say I don't know what's going on, and nothing's going on. We talk about the stories, but the meltdown is on the recipient. It's not on the deliverer. It's on the recipient. People that have a meltdown over news can't blame the messenger, because the messenger's making shit up, and you all know they're making shit up. You all know they are. Solomon, yeah, he's got to go. He's got to go. A player born to play for Spurs, dream and lifelong ambition is to play for Arsenal. 100%, Matt. 100%. Don't panic. Nobody panic. Nobody panic. Love that, Heat. Love that. What are we doing here? Let me. I'm going to shoot forward and we get. Oh, there's so many comments. Gee whiz. I'll be there all day trying to catch up with that, and I wouldn't be able to catch up for it. So I'm going to scoot to the forwards. Guys, smash the like button. Smash the subscribe if you haven't already. There's 630 people here, give or take. Love that from you. Smash the notification bell. Drop that comment section a little russ-a-tar-tar. No one knows, not me, not sure. No one but Levy knows. Good game, everybody. Is it good game, GG? The poker phrase, isn't it? Good game, bro. Answer the question, Jack. What's Jack got to do? Still here for me, Darren. Appreciate you, mate. Appreciate you. Let's just ask a little question here, guys. I want to ask a little question for... I don't know how long I'll be going for tonight. We've got lots of things to talk about. In fact, let's start talking about them, shall we? Let's start talking about them. Have you seen this? Share screen. All right. So, because when everyone's mad about Daniel Levy, right? This is the reality of the situation. So Kieran Maguire has said this yesterday. He said, hang on. The Premier League PSR rules are about as fit for purpose as a chocolate teapot. Chelsea FC Holdings made a profit of £128 million in 23-24. That's why they've got the most amount of wiggle room on their PSR after selling the women's team to itself. The parent company, Blueco 22, don't forget, is 8% owned by Trip Smith, who is minority shareholder in West Ham, but is about to take out the 25% that's owned by Kinsky and 25% that's owned by the Gold family, David Gold's daughter. David Gold and his other daughter passed away a few years ago. That stake's been caught up in probate. It's now been released, and the surviving daughter has said she wants to sell it. She's going to sell it to him. Trakinski's going to sell it to him. He will then have 60%. He'll probably then take over the Sullivan bid as well, own 100% of West Ham, but whilst he still owns 8% of Blueco, which is a part owner of Chelsea. Don't forget Clear Lake Capital is the other owner of Chelsea, who are part owned by the PIF, who own Newcastle. Another part of that Trip Smith guy, who owns a little bit of Blueco and about to be the majority owner in West Ham, well, he owns a stake, or big stake, a 50% ownership, a stake in a investment vehicle that is also owned by David Blitzer. David Blitzer is the guy who owns or who runs and manages Blackstone Capital, but David Blitzer is a partner in a company that owns Crystal Palace. And so by proxy of all of that, you have the same people that are in the same bed investing in the same things that own Crystal Palace, West Ham, Chelsea, and then a proxy of that is Newcastle. Newcastle United's PIF fund also have ownership stakes in other companies that are byproduct investors in through MCP Capital into Everton, until Everton sold their stake to the Friedkin Group. The Friedkin Group have a minority stake in Bill Foley's group, who own Bournemouth. It's fucking wild, guys. It's wild, right? Everybody owns a little slice of everybody, and yet nobody's supposed to own anything in more than one company in the Premier League or in any other league. You're not allowed to, right? John Textor just had to sell his stake in Crystal Palace because he's a direct owner of through Eagle Holdings, a direct owner of a slice of Crystal Palace, and also Botafogo, and also Molenbeek in Belgium, and also Lyon. Lyon qualifies for the Europa League, but is going bust. Crystal Palace qualifies for the Europa League, is doing well. In order for Crystal Palace to participate in the Europa League, he sells his stake of 42% for £190 million, valuing Crystal Palace at £400 million, in order to get out, even though he's massively undervalued the share of Crystal Palace, and Crystal Palace is massively undervalued as a consequence. But he then goes and tries to put that money into Lyon. Lyon, meanwhile, get rejected in their plight to avoid relegation for their financial plight. They have a player on loan called Thiago Almada from Botafogo, also owned by John Textor and Eagle Holdings, and Botafogo just got a massive fine for not honouring the debt owed for Thiago Almada, the player who's on loan at Lyon, who got relegated. Despite all that money that John Textor's taken being pumped into Lyon, it's the most batshit, bullshit, crazy load of absolute bollocks I have ever heard in my entire life. And yet the rules say no one person, no one entity can own two companies or two clubs in the same league. And yet all you have to do to get around that rule is to just have a second tier investment. On top of that, the parent company Blue Co 22, which owns the men's team, the women's team, and Strasbourg, and part of West Ham, made a loss of £430 million in the same period. And it cannot include intra-group transactions in the group accounts. Richard Masters, Premier League chairman, keeps a straight face and says Chelsea haven't broken any rules because the rules on these types of deals are full of loopholes. If I was Everton or Forest, I would be livid. Well, don't be too livid at Everton because Everton bought a player. They were part of the loophole that I spoke about with Johnny about this time last year. I think it was literally a year ago today when I said to Johnny, here's 10 loopholes that are yet to be exploited, that haven't yet been exploited by the Premier League. But as far as I understand through the rules, they could be. Here's an example. Player A at Club 1 is sold to Club 2. He's come through the youth. He's worth nothing or very little on the books. They sell him for 20 million, 50 million, whatever, doesn't matter. And then player B at Club 2 goes to another club or Club 1 for the same price. And you get to amortize the purchase over 5 years, but you get to receive the revenue for the sale immediately on your books. It's a net zero. It doesn't matter. It doesn't affect anything. It's just a paper trade. No money changes hands. It's all a load of bollocks. And yet both clubs can then spend money that they don't have or that they're not currently allowed to. 48 hours later, it happened between Everton and Chelsea and Villa. It was like a 3-part trade. Anyway, right? So Chelsea have got around the books. Here's the sucky part about this, guys. Here's the sucky part about all of this. Aston Villa have done the same sort of thing, right? Aston Villa have done the same thing. Broken the rules. They spent too much money. Both Chelsea and Villa are going to be falling foul of UEFA FFP rules, PSR rules, because, as Kieran Maguire said there, selling your left arm to your right arm and loaning it back is not something that you can do in UEFA rules. It is something you can do in the Premier League. So Chelsea are going to fall foul of it. Aston Villa are going to fall foul of it. Both of those teams have spent money that they're not allowed to spend. And if they were doing everything by the book, they wouldn't have been able to create the team that they have. By creating the team that they have created, by spending the rules or spending the money and breaking the rules that they have unofficially broken in terms of the Premier League, but by doing it they have done in the Europa League in UEFA, they get 30 million quid more than they probably otherwise would do from merit payments in the Premier League's distribution. They also qualify for the Champions League last season. In Aston Villa's case, this season in Chelsea's case. So they'll make 100 million quid, somewhere between 70 and 100 million quid for participating in European football. They've broken the rules. They're going to get somewhere between 300,000 euros and a 3 million, 5 million fine. At the very top end of the unexpectedly speculative, but probably never going to happen end, 3 to 5 million euro fine. Let's look at the precedent end. Barcelona got fined $300,000 euros for doing something very similar a couple of years ago. Chelsea were already fined 8 million euros by UEFA in 2023 for breaches from things back in 2018. So Chelsea might get a stiffer fine than Aston Villa. If you're going to make £80 million from the rewards that wouldn't come to you naturally, but are only apparent because of breaking the rules, and the punishment for breaking the rules is that you get a 2% of the reward fine, and you still get to participate in the tournament anyway in the next season, where is the disincentive? Where is the motivation for anyone to not cheat? It's like saying, I'm going to rob a bank and I'll steal 10 million. And if I don't get caught, cool, I get 10 million. But if I do get caught, I have to give back 100 grand. I get to keep the rest. And I also get to do it again next year, break into the next bank, because they give me the keys as part of the story. It's fucking stupid. It's so bad. It's so bonkers. The fact that the Premier League had the opportunity to get together 2.5, 3 weeks ago at the Premier League owners meeting and discuss closing these loopholes, and it didn't even get to a vote. It didn't even get to a vote because there wasn't enough appetite to close these loopholes. Tells you everything that you need to know. So ask why we are not doing it. We don't need to do it yet, mate. We don't need to sell our women's team to ourselves. We've got enough money. We've got enough wiggle room in the FFP. We don't need to do it. We've got loads of room. We could spend 200 million quid this year and not fall foul of FFP. We just don't have the cash, nor do we have the owners to do it, or who want to do it. And that's why I said in yesterday's video, I don't resent or hate these people for trying to create a sustainable business. I don't. Like, that's the way business should be run. I resent, always have done, check the tape, check the receipts. I've always resented the Premier League's rule makers for not being able to create cohesive rules that are enforceable, and that the deterrent means that teams are not likely to participate in these things. But when the rules are like wide open and so easy to walk through, and then even if you still break them, the deterrent is a slap on the wrist, you're getting away with murder. It's ruining the game. But the fact that the Premier League teams got together a couple of weeks ago and thought, shall we close these? Should we say that these things can't happen? Like they're not allowed to happen in the Premier, in UEFA. Should we make these things consistent across the Premier League? And they couldn't get 15 people to agree to it. Right, remember that every time they make a vote on a change, you need 14 votes in favor. Right, but if you're not even taking it to a vote, then it's because you've asked around and you can't even get like 10 people that are even open-minded to it. They obviously don't think it's worth doing. More teams than don't think that the FFP PSR rules are a hindrance and a bottleneck on their own ambitions. But our guy, our guy doesn't seem to want to do it. Doesn't seem to want to do it. And so on that basis, I think that you have to. I think you have to sort of shake hands with it and say, look, Levy, you're cop blocking the pathway here. I get that what you've done is. I think what you've done is good. I think you've been a good owner. But the game has changed, right? The FFP and PSR rules were supposed to bring everyone back down together. There was the people that got away, and there was the people at the bottom, and this was supposed to do this. It hasn't worked. It clearly, was never. It wasn't going to work because the people that are the smartest minds in the room are on the other side of the equation. They're trying to figure out, how to dance around it. And on that basis, that's fine. But if you can't convince people to close the book, then you have to get out of the way, unless you want to dance with the devil. And if you don't want to dance with the devil, then leave the disco. But hand over the entrance ticket to someone else. And I think that he has to do it. Him and Joe Lewis and all those guys, they should have one eye on the reality of the situation. The problem is that I'm sure they would sell the club if the right money came in, but they overvalue the business massively. And again, if they have to leave something for the next guy. There has to be something. There has to be a reason for another person to come in. There has to be something that gives them a little bit of incentive to take on the baton and run with it. Otherwise, you know, where's the motivation for someone else to come in and pay full value? It's the equivalent of paying, like, I think what Daniel Levy's doing right now is like Brighton asking for £100 million for Evan Ferguson. You know, it's not going to work because you're pricing in perfection in an imperfect world, and that to me is frustrating. So that's why I'm at the point where, like, I don't know how I can represent my vibe. I'd love some advice from you guys, like, because I don't want to be a part of change for Tottenham in the version that I've seen of it, because I think that it's just a, like, you know, lipstick on a pig. I think it's Levy out rebranded, and I don't share the Levy out narrative. I don't share this resentment, like Lubo, like Stell, like, you know, half the people we know, and more than half the people we know in the fan base. These guys are like, you know, they bang the drum every chance they can. They, like, every time there's any bit of even remotely disappointing news that's not verified, it's just rumor, then that's it. Get the Levy out hashtag thing going. And I'm not part of that. I don't vibe with that. I actually, like, if he was walking away, a lot of people will be doing that, right? I wouldn't. I'd be saying, see you later, thank you next. Sort of like how I feel about Ange Postecoglou. I think a lot of fans, not many, but some fans would be like, get out of my club, Ange Postecoglou, you're a joker. I'm like, nah, thank you, but you're not the right guy for us. So that's where I stand, but I don't know how that can be represented when you've either got the Levy out thing or you've got change for Tottenham, but those things to me are one and the same. They're one and the same. When you go to a change for Tottenham march, they're singing Daniel Levy, get out of our club. It's the, you know, Emperor wears new clothes. So, like, I don't know. I need like my own hashtag, our own hashtag, for people that feel the same as me, that like don't resent him, that appreciate where we were when he took over, where we've got to, the stadium, the size of the club, the fact that we've remained competitive without selling our soul to certain, you know, not saying our soul, wrong choice of words, but like without going down that kind of path of just like sugar daddy ownership, but at the same time acknowledging that, you know, he's taken something from an acorn to, like, you know, a baby oak, or like a somewhat mature tree, but there's like giant oaks all around us that are like grabbing all of the water, and that we're gonna die. The tree's gonna be parched unless we get a different direction. Like, it's not a disgrace. It's not a disgrace to have taken something. It's nothing like a disgrace, right? But it's not like there's not a problem for me to sit there and say this guy single-handedly has essentially taken the club from 25 million quid and then employed people that alongside him have taken the club to where they've got the stadium, right? It's the best stadium in the world. We're one of the best supported clubs in the world, and made us relatively competitive along the way. A couple of title runs, okay, we fell short. A Champions League final, you know, 99.9% of teams are never fans of teams are never going to experience that. Well, we experienced. Well, okay, we were on the wrong side of it on the day, but we got there. We won the Europa League. Most fans are never going to experience that. We got to like lots of finals along the way. Didn't quite have enough to do it more frequently, and we were used to be more successful than we are. But the level of competition and the resources and the game was different then. And it is what it is now. I don't like it. I hate it. My resentment, my middle finger is pointing up. But at the same time, you know, I feel like you have to go, well, Daniel Levy, you're the poster boy of FFP and PSR. And if it's dead on arrival, which it appears to be, then I think he'll find it difficult to be able to pivot, even if he wanted to. I think he wouldn't like that. Would look like so disingenuous and duplicitous and hypocritical and contradictory. So I don't think he'll ever be able to do that. And so, like, where do I land on it? I land with like a thank you next, but I don't know how that can be represented in and amongst a fan base that seem to either like him, want him to stay and appreciate him, or loathe him and want him gone and will take any opportunity to say so, or to jump on it. Let me know, guys. I need my own hashtag. I need a hashtag. What are we saying here? What are we saying? Anyway, so yeah, the situation with the we've got a couple of super chats. I haven't seen these. Sorry, I was on a monumental rant there, wasn't I? Smash the like, says Destiny. Good to see you, mate. Appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for your awesome moderation skills as well, mate. Appreciate you. Solomon and Big DCL is what we need. Fuck, if that guy comes, I don't need a new hashtag. I'll jump on your own hashtag. Dominic Calvert-Lewin. When I saw those links, I was like, get out. Get out. Voxaholic. Levy is so tight. He squeaks when he walks. Just want to sell shirts to Japanese fans. Just like Sun to the Korean fans. The guy is cop blocking our club ambitions. Appreciate that, mate. Listen, yeah, I don't know. Look, it's still early in the window, and we haven't done anything. We've done nothing to write home about. And I think that's the other thing. I do want to loop back onto that. Like, I still just cannot believe. I cannot believe that he, under the advisory of whoever it is that's now in charge at the club, whether it's Charrington or Vinay or whatever, I can't believe that they would want to put something out like that and then just embark on a summer transfer window that's going to disappoint to the extent that it will. Like, you didn't need to say it, and then you say it, and then you've raised expectations, and all you're doing is making a rod for your own back. It makes no sense to me. And that's why I think that I'm going to hold fire massively on any kind of outrage. But I think at the same time, everything I've just said is how I feel. And it's not how I feel now. It's how I've felt for a long time. But like, when you see that the rules just are meaningless, they are meaningless. Let's not forget, right? Like, Chelsea, having done those shenanigans, not only did they like qualify for Europa League now, they also qualified for the Super Cup whilst they were participating in all this shit under Abramovich. I'm pretty sure that their Super Cup qualification started before, was like arranged before Todd Bowley came in. So they were the recipient of that. And that like every club that's qualified out of the Super Cup the Club World Cup into the knockout stages, they've already made like 37, 38 million quid. It's madness. It's a madness. So the rich get richer, the gap goes further, and then you have, on top of all that, you have these people that are just doing everything, like spend all day long going, what's the next loophole that hasn't been closed? Oh, massive super chat there. Thank you so much, Blaine. Appreciate you, mate. No, mate, dude, Blaine, you're an absolute legend, man. Thank you so much. I'm very similar in stance on Levy, but for me, Levy is like the Sony Walkman versus the iPod. Levy backed the Walkman. Solid, does the job. Great sounds always coming out, but it ain't ahead of the competition, Daniel. Yeah. Like was it the Walkman or the Discman? The Walkman was wild, Blaine. The Walkman was like the big deal, wasn't it? That was back. It was on cassette. If you're old enough to remember, I think it was the disc. Was it the Discman? Sony Discman. I'm sure it was a Discman or something. We had to get those little cartridges and put them in. That one flopped hard, didn't it? Flopped massive. Yeah, man. That's why I agree, mate. I agree, buddy. That's kind of where I'm at as well, man. Like, I think you just have to sort of shake hands with it a little bit. Thank you so much, Blaine. It's really nice of you, man. But like I say, dude, like I'm gonna turn the kind of the dial up on the energy here a little bit. For me, guys, I think that the reality is, right, that there's no chance that Daniel Levy, there's no chance that Vinay, right? This guy's a smart guy. There's no elements of autism on paper here with Vinay, right? This guy's smart. I mean, Daniel Levy's super intelligent, super focused, super business minded, like all plaudits. But his ability to read a room, his ability to like communicate, his ability to like social skills, whatever, very lacking. I'm not even sure if he would disagree with that. He doesn't strike me as the sort of person that's going to tell a joke very well, kind of thing. Whereas Vinay seems like he's just an intelligent dude who's very normal, down to earth, and that you could go out and have a dinner with or go to a bar with and probably have a good time, like no problem. So is he really going to sit down with Daniel Levy and go, yeah, let's tell them everything they want to hear just before a window where we fucking disappoint again? No, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. And so I think that everyone's losing their mind about this over basically rumors and nothingness. And by the way, guys, if it doesn't happen, if he goes to fucking Arsenal, sure, have your meltdown. But then we turn around and we demand Xavi Simons, right? Or do we demand Kudos? Or do we demand Mikhail Tadzi? Or do we demand, Barcelona in a little bit of trouble? Do we go and knock on the door of Dani Olmo? Or do we go and demand something wild? You want a left winger? I don't think we need a left winger as much as we need a right winger personally. But if you want a left winger, do we go and do something absolutely insane? Go and see if you can get, I don't know. Dare I say it? You go and get Jack Grealish. Would Jack Grealish satisfy you? You know what? I've been talking too much. I'm going to carry on talking because it's just me on the show. It's just me on. But I'm going to put in a couple of. Let me get my YouTube up here. Let me get my YouTube up. What are we doing? What are we doing here? What are we doing? Give me a second here, people. I'm going to get my YouTube channel up, and I need to get a poll up. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? All right. Poll ski. Start a poll. If not Eze, who? Simons? Mikhail Tadzi? Kudos? Grealish. All right, but I'm asking this, who would satisfy the fans is what I'm asking. Who would I satisfy the fans? So let me know. Got a new member of the show, Marky boy. Good to see you, mate. Thank you very much. I think that's a reload, I think, mate. I appreciate you, boss. Appreciate you very much. What are we going here? Nico Williams, yeah? Well, listen. Atletico Bilbao, they don't want to sell to... They don't want to sell to Barcelona. If Barcelona don't get him, are they going to turn their attention to Rashford? Would you take Rashford? There's like 6 names here. But by the way, you can participate in the poll, but also I'm going to be talking to you guys now. So I'm going to be looking at the chat, right? I've sort of said my piece. I've got that out of the way. Now I'm going to be reacting to what you're saying. You love Kudos, Feral Ferret. I don't mind him. He's inconsistent. But when he's on, he's a baller. He's a baller, and he can play across the front three. He can play anywhere, which is important. Elise, when I was begging for him all last summer, that's not happening anymore. Justin, he's gone to Munich and he's happy over there. Grealish can do one, says Mark. Grealish be on the wine with them both. That is major barrel scraping, says Luke the drummer. Okay. Sean Arthur Fleck Butler. Who's Arthur Fleck? I know who Arthur Fleck is. Do I need to look him up? Let's have a look. What are we doing now? What are we doing now? Arthur Fleck. Oh, the Joker. Fucking hell. Promise you I won't kill anyone. Appreciate the nice Teddy Klinsman. What a great name that is. Simmons or Kudos says chop cheese. Choppy chop cheese. Barry McVoy, Nico Williams. Yeah, he's too much weight. He wants like 320 grand a week, doesn't he? Too much money. Simmons has no competition. We can get him, says Billy. Linked with Eze and Simmons, and we'll end up buying a turd with potential. Hasn't he gone to Barca, Barry? He's not gone. I don't think he's gone there yet, has he? I think he was, because I think Munich are also hanging around, trying to get it. No to Grealish. We only really need a left if Son leaves. Yeah, that's another thing. We talk a lot about the need for a striker, and Grealish. And little bro Richie, the little bro, saying, "I'm not leaving, and I'm going to tell mum and dad what you're doing with that girl. I saw you." We speak about that quite a lot. What about Sonny? Does Sonny want to go to Saudi? No one seems to want to go to Saudi. Does he want to go to Turkey? You know what I would love to see? I would love to see a bomber drop that Sonny's going to Juve and that no money is changing hands, but that Tottenham are signing Dougie Luiz. That would calm everybody down, wouldn't it? Would that calm everybody down? I think it would calm everybody down. Bring Modric home. He's gone to Milan. He's just done. Harvey Elliott. Look, I think Harvey Elliott's a top player. I think Harvey Elliott's a cracking player. I'd be more than happy to see Harvey Elliott in the squad. Do I think he solves what we're looking for? No. I think he's an 8, which we don't need. Or he's a right winger, which he's not a right winger that we need. He's a great player. You can admire the player, but not think he's a hole filler. And I don't want to drop 40 million quid on him. No chance. And I think the fan base half the fan base would say he's awesome. He's ex-Liverpool. He's 40 million quid. Therefore, ergo, he's great value. And yep, good signing. But now I need to see you spend another 70 million quid on the player that we don't already have, and another monster 6 as well. He's not what we need. He's not a 6. He's an 8. We've got enough 8s. We've got Berghvall. We've got Bentancur. We've got Sarr. We've got Decky could play there. There's loads. We've got so many 8s. So many 8s. Got more 8s than a fucking Chinese betting company. Been heavy on Garnacho too, Chris. Yeah. And like I've said before, mate, I like Garnacho as a winger. I'm not sure if he's a feel better, Sean. I'm fine. Then get it. Forget Simmons, never going to happen, says Mr. Laugh at this. No. Grealish, no. Questionable. If he will have the appetite, plus he's 29. Yeah, I don't want Jack Grealish. I don't want him at all. I just threw him in there as a 4th option. Let's see what the other options are saying. What are we doing? 62% of people want Simmons. Mikhail Tadz's on 11. Kudos 14. Yeah, Chappie Simmons is a fucking delight to watch. He's so good. But I think a lot of people will give him a hard time. I think a lot of people will expect it. Like if he comes in and he doesn't acclimate to the Premier League immediately, which by the way no one does, or very few people do, then should have got Eze. Well, Ekitike. Now that's an interesting one, right? Because that guy can play left winger. He can play as an inside forward for sure. He's crafty. He's going to cost you 80 million euros, right? 85 million euros, which is about 70 million quid. He's 21 years old, or something like that. 20 years old, 22 years old, whatever. So he's going to fit the profile. And he's playing for Frankfurt. And no one else has made a move on him yet. Would he come to a Europa League winner? I think he would. I think you could convince him to come to Tottenham. I doubt he's on massive money yet. We just assume that we're never going to do that sort of deal, don't we? We just kind of go, there's no chance. Pedro Gonçalves. The player that never, ever seems to be ever linked with a Premier League club until there's a Portuguese manager, and even then it's a throwaway flippant comment. Dybala, gift Orban. Harvey Elliott all day. I said, well, where does he fit in, Daniel? Where does he fit in, mate? I don't know where he fits in. Simmons, because my dad is Dutch Indonesian. Oh, there you go. Very cool. Very cool, Curly. Kudos stop playing for West Ham, potentially hassle. Yeah, maybe. But he sort of stopped playing for them because when Graham Potter came in, he was asked to play on a different role, right? Hello, are you sleeping in a cave? He is already a Barcelona player. Who's already a Barcelona player? Who is? Nico Williams. Is that official now, is it? I thought there was Yeah, I'm not sure it's not done. Nico Williams isn't done. If that's what you're talking about, Nico Williams isn't done. I don't think. Why aren't other clubs after Bakayoko from Holland? That would give me a chubby. Well, he had a shit. He didn't do very well last season, Blaine. Didn't do very well last season, mate. He had a poor season. I think he scored like 11 goals or something, which in the Dutch league, it's a lot. Everybody should be cautious of Dutch levels of excellence. Some players come over and smash it. Luis Suarez came over and smashed it. You know, there's lots of players that come over and smashed it, but there's a longer list of people that have come over on big expectations, and it's just the Premier League is the toughest level. The toughest level. It really is. Grealish is too old. I don't understand why you want Harvey Elliott. In what position? Someone tell me. I'm getting behind on the chats. Someone tell me. For fuck's sake, Sean, it's Kudus, not Kudus. What? This is a pronunciation thing you're getting angry about to the point where you're putting in capital letters. Alex Hughes, I don't know. You've got like a Welsh name, my man. If we had a chat, I'm sure I could correct you on some of the way that you say words. Oh no, boy! Oh, I don't know about that. I speak the proper Queen's English. I do the King's English. Okie dokie. What are we doing here? It's Kudos, whatever. Mohammed Kudus. Who gives a fuck? Xavi Simmons says Hotspur. Yeah, love him, mate. Love him. I'd like him as well. What about Lautaro Martinez? Well, Inter Milan, haven't they just they've just signed a striker, haven't they? They've just signed someone. Who have they just signed? Why am I forgetting who they've just signed? Inter Milan transfers. They have just signed. Yeah, I can't remember. Can't remember who it is. Either way, Lautaro Martinez is not going to come to Tottenham. No chance. Should we go back in for Kolo Muani? Would be a brilliant backup. Yeah, listen, that's an interesting one, isn't it? Juventus are trying to sign him on a permanent, but they haven't got the money to pay for PSG's asking price. Juventus are also trying to sign Mikel Tadzi. I love Mikel Tadzi, by the way. Go and check him out. Have you checked him out yet? I gave you some homework to do yesterday, guys. I gave you some homework. Have you done your homework? He's quality. No, Cliff was getting hassled for national team not qualifying for this season's AFCON. Okay. Good work, Daniela. Good work. Sean, if we were to drop the big money on a 6 and not an attacker, who should it be? Big money, Kefram Turam. Kefram Turam probably will be a monster. I loved Samuel Ritchie from Torino, is it? And he's just gone to, or he's about to go to. I think, was he about to go to AC Milan? AC Milan. Adam Wharton, for what it's worth, right? Just check this out. You know, I've been talking about here's a little Rasta. Everyone wants Adam Wharton, right? Everyone wants Adam Wharton. How about this? How do I get this up? Profile. Where's my profile? Here we go. Share this tab. Rasta. Check this bad boy out. So, everyone loves Adam Wharton. Now, I take it, you know, obviously, it's a given Adam Wharton's doing this in the Premier League. Adam Zogan is doing this in the Belgium League. So, massive difference. However, Adam Wharton in the red, Adam Zogan in the green. Everything that Adam Wharton is a baller at, with the exception of progressive pass tendency and ranged passing. My guy, Adam Zogan, who did play for Charleroi. He's just joined Union St. Gauloise, who happens to be the sister club, part of the MCO relationship at Brighton. But everything about this guy is Adam Wharton is a similar sort of player. The only thing I would say about Adam Zorgan is he's not mobile, but he's fucking amazing at everything else. Absolutely amazing. His passing's insane. His finishing's insane. He's just joined Union St. Gilloise. I wouldn't be surprised to see him playing for Brighton in a couple of years. But he's 25 already, so maybe the boat's been missed a little bit. But sometimes you just get late bloomers in life. He's slow. He's not mobile enough, but he is absolutely insane. To answer your question, though, where else would I go if not for him? If you could go and get like an absolute baller, if you wanted to drop 70 million quid on a defensive midfielder, I think Morten Holmund would be probably my first choice. Angelo Stiller is another player. I'd go and see whether or not there was any interest in Ravella at Lazio. He's a class player. Samuel Ritchie was he was at Torino. I thought he was, sorry. There's lots of DMs out there. That's what we're going for. I'd consider going back and getting Arthur Vermeeren. Arthur Vermeeren, I think, is a classy player. He's now at Leipzig. You could go and get someone like who else would I go for? That's probably that's probably it right now for the monster sixes. Or you haven't got to spend a lot of money. If you want to go at the top end of the market, go to a 28, 29-year-old. Go and get yourself a Palhinha. Pay whatever he wants. Get it done. I just don't see Tottenham Hotspur doing that because Daniel Levy's got this hard on around finding 21-year-olds. He thinks it's the way forward. It's like he gets an idea in his head, and when other people start to join him on that idea, and he's like, "Oh, I'm on the right track. Let's just keep doing it." But if this is the movement and this is why he's doing these things, then he's not going to be going anywhere for many, many years because he won't want to be buying these players up that are 19, 20, 21 years old. And unless he's either doing that because he wants to be here to see them mature and become things, or he is doing it because he wants to inflate the valuation of the squad on paper, knowing that all of these players seem to get an inflation because there's a lot of time on their side. And then as a consequence of that, everyone, a potential buyer might end up paying more money for him. But yeah, I don't know. A little bit frustrating today, guys. A little bit frustrating. I want to say some other things to you. What did I want to say to you? Where's my bookmarks? Here we go. So here are some of the tweets that I saw earlier on. This is what I was supposed to bring this up during my middle of my rant, right? But so you've got, where am I up to? I am Brian Daigle. I think he appears a couple of times in this. I love Brian, but I think he appears a couple of times in this rant for the outrage fan things. Levy failure isn't an option. Eze affordable and available. Spurs fans, take a look. Transfer window clock, 71 days left. Do something. But he's getting a little bit angry. Next one I saw from Brian, it's 4th of June. 4 hours ago. It's June and Spurs fans are still waiting for a clear football plan. Meanwhile, the club pushes non-stop events, now even advertising corporate Christmas parties. Where's the investment in the actual team? I love a bit of that Brian Daigle tweets. Things won't change until he's gone, says Woodbridge Carl. We've had enough. Levy out. Tottenham under ENIC and Levy are the most unserious football institution in world football. Prioritise everything else but pushing forward to achieve more sporting on pitch success. Wants to win the Premier League and the Champions League. Insulting to fans, he dared say this. I don't know this man. No problem with you. But he wants. I'm sure he's like everyone else who's wanted Daniel Levy to say something. He says something, and then how dare you say something? Lupo said exactly the same thing. This about sums up where we're at with our football club. Don't know about that, Shawnee. Don't know about that, mate. This might sum up where you're at. Not sure it sums up where everyone's at. That CUNT of an owner. We want to win the league. This is an hour ago from A. Brown. and the Champions League, and yet the truth is they're really not bothered. Lip service to appease the gullible. They're only interested in asset building and the end game exit with maximum profit. Nigel Parker, just great being a Spurs fan. Finally win a trophy, and somehow the club put a damp squib on it. Doesn't make any sense. Others signing players, improving their squads. Meanwhile, at Spurs, giant haystacks. Levy out. Fuck this virus. Fucking hell. Spending all our fucking money on stupid hotels. Fuck him. In terms of actual cash flow, Spurs have to send. He's actually got danger. Oh, yeah. That's a load of bollocks. Matt Law talks a load of bollocks. This should be spammed under every post. Levy out, knee out. Yeah. It just goes on and goes on and goes on. This is the vibe right now, guys. The vibe in the Twitter space is precariously positioned for a meltdown, and we love it. We're here for it. I totally get it. By the way, I do totally understand why people are getting frustrated, but I would remind everyone that just rumors do not equal truth, and there's not many other teams that are doing very much either. So we shall wait and see. I wish there was more news to bring to your attention, guys, but it really isn't. There's a couple of stories I want to bring to your attention in just a second. I've got Daniel Field says it's going to be a lovely weekend. We get this crappy news dumped on us. Anyway, big ups. Cheers, Daniel. Appreciate you, my man. Thank you very much, buddy. I like that. What's that? You can see it's like the perfect circle. What's it called? I forget the graphic in your icon there. It's like the perfect circle. You can see that the cuboid and the hexagram and stuff. Very cool. Very much into that stuff. Let's have a look at this particular story, right? This is from Alistair Gold, put out a story earlier called the £146 million gamble that didn't pay off. Love to see it. Even Ali Gold's jumped on the bandwagon. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate you, mate. Let's read this together, shall we? Oh, what's going on with my screen? What the hell? Weird. Tottenham's policy in recent decades has always been clear in signing young players they believe can become stars. And while that has brought some huge successes, it has also brought some misfires. Spurs' policy to mostly buy young has brought some spectacular successes in the past, such as Dele Alli. Before him, Aaron Lennon, Kyle Walker, Ericsson, yada, yada, yada. Let's get to the story. With 18-year-old Luka Vuskovic about to arrive at the North London outfit and Tottenham about to sign another centre-back in 20-year-old Japan international Kota Takai, the club's desire to build with youth shows no sign of abating. Striker Oliver Boast, who only turned 16 last month, set to move from Leeds this summer as well. The gamble of signing youngsters with potential is that not all of them are going to achieve what you hope from them and instead can end up costing plenty of money in the process. Here's a look at some of the Tottenham transfer misses with young players over recent years. Brian Hill. Oh, yeah. Alejo Veliz. Yep, flop. I want to see what he said about Ashley Phillips here. You never know. There could be a major turnaround this summer for Ashley Phillips under Thomas Frank, but it looks unlikely with the number of centre-backs at the club of Vuskovic and Takai now joining. Phillips was signed in 2023. Not played a single game. This is certainly not a case of ability, but more the wrong player at the wrong time. Spurs will likely end up making a profit on Phillips when he does head off. Well, then it's not a failure, is it? Joe Rodon, all the talk that summed up the summer of 2020 was that Mourinho wanted the experienced Milan Skriniar, but eventually ended up with the 22-year-old Joe Rodon on a deal from Championship side Swansea. That was no slight on Wales international Rodon, who has gone on to show he's very good centre-back and has led Leeds to the Premier League for the coming season with his performances. It was an example of Spurs taking a younger route and it not working out. Rodon is just 2 games short of 100 appearances for Leeds in 2 seasons, whereas at Tottenham he managed 24 appearances over 4 years amid loan. Yeah, okay. You know what? I'm bored of this story. I'm bored. All right. What are we up to? I won't take up too much more of your time, guys, because there's a literally sweet FA else to talk about on a Friday night. But yeah, so let's find out where everyone finished on the poll. Did we 57% of people saying that they would want Xavi Simons next, and then the other 33% split across the 3. Mikel Tadzi, I like that. 14% of you are smart people. Mohamed Kudus. Oh, is that what that guy was having a crack at me about the spelling? Was it because I spelt his name wrong? So I put Kudus. Sorry, Mr. Hughes, if you having a crack at my accent rather than rather than the spelling. That's the case, then I apologize 100%. Guys, look, 707 people here. Smash the granny out of the like button. Smash the nanny out of the subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell and drop the comments. I'll tell you what, guys, I'm actually probably going to drop it there because I've got nothing much more to talk about with you. I'm a little bit pissed off, if I'm honest, with the FFP, the PSR stuff. Other people not doing much either. But I'll be back tomorrow if there's any more stories to bring to your attention. Otherwise, have a wonderful weekend. Have a wonderful Friday night. Go get yourself a little tipsy, whipsy woo. And I'm going to take Bugsy out for a final walk of the day before I put on, I don't know, some wank-worthy material. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, bye-bye.